Today, important events took place on the front line of the Ukrainian-Russian war. The combat situation remains tense. Ukrainian defenders continue to actively counter the Russian aggressor, inflicting losses in manpower and equipment. A total of 80 combat engagements have taken place since the beginning of the day. Border settlements in Sumy, Chernihiv, and Kharkiv regions continue to suffer from shelling from the territory of the Russian Federation. The areas of Stukalivka, Bobylivka, Vidrodzhenivske and Tymofiyivka were hit by cannon artillery and MLRS fire. Also, the aggressor conducted airstrikes on the areas of Studenok, Kucherivka, Budivelne, using 7 UAVs. But the Russians continue to bomb Kursk region of the Russian Federation. According to the available information, 9 strikes with 12 guided aerial bombs have been carried out on its territory so far. As for the Ukrainian military, they continue to conduct active hostilities in the Kursk region of Russia, carrying out offensive operations that have already led to the capture of about 100 villages. Russia is responding to these attacks by increasing the number of its troops in the region to 45,000. In response to Ukrainian actions, Russian forces have also launched counterattacks in the area of Sumy and other settlements. However, despite the Russian counteroffensives, Ukrainian troops continue to hold the captured positions and inflict heavy losses on the Russian military. On the Chasiv Yar direction, the Ukrainian defense forces continue to hold their positions despite constant attacks by Russian troops. The enemy is trying to find weaknesses in the defense to focus its efforts on a breakthrough, but the Ukrainian military is keeping the situation under control. Ukraine's defenders are demonstrating resilience and endurance, repelling attacks, and preventing enemy forces from breaking through in this area of the front. Chasiv Yar is one of the key areas on the front line, and its retention is important for Ukraine's overall defense strategy. Also, the Security Service of Ukraine reports that a nuclear intercontinental ballistic missile, RS-28 Sarmat, exploded in Russia during a test. It happened on September 21st. The missile, according to researchers, exploded during refueling at the test site. The RS-28 Sarmat test was a complete failure. The missile detonated in the mine, leaving a huge crater and destroying the range. Sarmat is a liquid-fueled missile, so this accident could have happened separately from the actual launch, the analysts noted. They also drew attention to the fact that 4 fire trucks arrived at the site to try to extinguish the flames. According to the analysts, the explosion of an intercontinental missile during testing is a catastrophe that can occur once every 50 years, as the previous similar case was recorded in October 1960 at the Baikonur Cosmodrome, when an R-16 missile exploded. Analysts have suggested that the Kremlin is unlikely to officially recognize the fact of the Sarmat disaster. At the same time, when Putin is trying to blackmail the entire civilized world with his nuclear missiles, his nuclear warhead explodes at the launch point before it even takes off. This really symbolically illustrates the paradoxical situation in which aggressive rhetoric and intentions are not backed up by real capabilities. On the Ukrainian front, in the Kupiansk sector, Ukrainian troops repelled 5 enemy attacks near Sinkivka, Novosinov, Hlushkivka, and Vishneva, and 2 more firefights are ongoing near Krylyakivka. In the Lyman sector, the invading army conducted 14 attacks near Rakivka, Makiyivka, Nevsky, Novosadov, and in Serebryanska forestry. 10 combat engagements have ended by now, 4 more are ongoing. The enemy used aircraft in the area of Serebryanska forestry, dropping more than 60 unguided missiles. The enemy conducted 2 offensives in the Siversk sector near Verkhnekamianska and Bilohorivka, and Ukrainian troops repelled both attacks. The enemy also launched an airstrike in the vicinity of Siversk, using 6 air bombs. In the Kramatorsk sector, the invaders, with the support of aviation, made 2 assaults on the positions of the Ukrainian army near Chasovyi Yar. One battle is over, the other is ongoing. In the Toretsk sector, 10 hostile attacks took place in the areas of Toretsk, Zalizne, Nelipivka, and Chernihiv. The aggressor launched an airstrike on Kostiantynivka using 3 air bombs. In the Pokrovsk sector, since the beginning of the day, the occupants have made 13 attempts to push Ukrainian troops from their positions near Novotoretske, Stukalivka, Mykolaiivka, Selidove, and Mikhailivka. The defense forces are holding back the onslaught and repelled 7 enemy attacks, with 6 more engagements still ongoing. The enemy's losses are being clarified. In the Kucherivka sector, the occupants conducted 8 unsuccessful attacks near Chernihiv, Kostiantynivka, and Kucherivka, and launched an airstrike in the Shevchenko area using 4 UAVs. In the Orikivsk sector, the enemy made 1 unsuccessful attack on the positions of Ukrainian defenders. At the same time, the enemy is conducting airstrikes and artillery attacks on Ukrainian troops' positions and localities. A total of 10 rocket launchers and 7 aerial bombs were used in the areas of Malotokmachka, Pyatikhatki, and Veselyanka. In total, the losses of the Russian invaders amounted to 1,250 people over the last day. Ukrainian soldiers also neutralized 5 tanks, 27 armored combat vehicles, 27 artillery systems, an air defense system, 38 operational and tactical UAVs, 53 vehicles, and 16 units of occupants' special equipment. Thank you, friends. That's all for today. Subscribe to the channel to keep up to date with the latest developments. This video was prepared by Hustler. See you soon.